How you doing, man?
A little tired, but all right.
All right.
Need more time off, but don't have it.
Yeah, yo. You missed a really good session last week.
Yeah, I heard you took one person on a couple of people on an adventure, and everyone else just sat
It's a
around
really good.
twiddling their thumbs.
Who told you that?
Yeah,
Who told you that version?
That's what happened.
you did kind of leave everybody like sitting here, and Kata's had an adventure for half an hour.
Yeah,
And then y'all left me hanging for almost 2.
yeah,
No, we didn't.
yeah. Well, the other two did. You fucked off early.
Yeah, because I didn't want to deal with invisible space monsters.
Where's your sense of adventure?
No, I have a sense of self-preservation that everybody is lacking. Apparently, I miss Saber. Honestly, I miss Saber because he's the only other voice of reason in the group.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You know, we got each other's back, Saber. You know, we're like
Yeah, we
we're
do.
so misunderstood.
No. We're not misunderstood. Everyone else is just wrong.
That too. Also, I feel like we're the foreigners, even though you probably have been constructed in this place.
When I wrote my backstories, I wasn't quite constructed amongst the theocracy people, so I just came here, but I've been trying to treat it as both. So I don't know. I'm alien to most of the individuals around here, though.
Same. We're like the foreigners, more or less.
So then, I think the last session was more or less summarized already.
Uh,
Yeah, I think I summarized it pretty good.
Yeah. Saber,
I wasn't even here.
you arrive in a room with Eve bleeding from her chest. Cadis holding
there's a
hands.
rag in the wound.
Cadis holding the hand of a strange, disheveled elven man. A large. Oh no! Wait, you met the barbarian. No,
Yep.
wait. Lage and Charles are both missing. Cadis is again holding the hand of a man. And Alba is, I don't know, autistically cleaning.
Well, I look to Eve and I'll be like, so did you kill him finally? Or is he just not here?
No, he up and vanished. Like, where's oh god, I forgot the name of the moth.
She's just sitting there.
Elva. Hey, Elva, can you touch me up a little bit? Maybe I'd have a scratch there.
I think Elva's still in the middle of a freakout, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, she's kind of comatose.
I roll
Well, I
medicine
guess
to
I'll
see what's
just
wong with her.
I
A
can tell you
12.
what's wrong with her.
She is unconscious.
No, she's just having a minor panic, or a minor to severe panic attack. That's all.
I roll medicine on Eve, and you are bleeding.
Yes.
Thank you, Saber.
He pulls the rag away and just puts his hand through your chest. I get the feeling something is wrong here.
Hmm. So our healer is having a stroke. You know what? I'm just gonna.
I can
sit
attempt to
here.
cauterize the wound, but that will not prevent internal bleeding.
I think I'm good for now, as long as nobody keeps stabbing me, and I'm gonna look at the elf.
Hey, to be fair, you shot his buddy.
They followed us. How the fuck was I supposed to know that the fucking shadow creatures are not evil?
Did you ask them?
You
Did
couldn't
you?
really talk to them beforehand.
I was gonna say, did
Understood.
you not pay attention to the explanation given by our party members?
To be fair, I don't fully explain it to them.
No, this was you.
Me.
Yeah,
That was
Mister. I'm going to shoot
before
a
you put
shadow.
the ink and the thing on the ground.
Okay, but our party had just finished explaining that these were people.
Yeah. Evil people, for all I know.
The elf just continues to stand
Considering
there.
the kingdom we live in, most people are evil.
See, that's a fair point.
I can't argue with that logic, but turning back towards the elf. Yes, my name is Kadisa Trama.
Right. Well, I served with a man by that name. Although, wasn't in my group and things. We had gotten to the city. Unfortunately, I believe he was going to the front.
So he is dead.
Quite possibly.
I believe I heard of a
What do
cat
you
in a similar situation.
what do you remember of that man?
He had no family. He had many friends. Very much well-liked person. At least when drinks went around. But outside of that, average combatant, magic user. Knowledgeable. mm, The arcane.
Well, I gesture to the dust I've been using to kind of write in the air to him. Yeah, nope, that sums me up relatively well.
But he
Though,
was much older than you and different eye color.
yeah, I kind of woke up a few months back in a forest with no memories, so you are the first lead I've had.
Well, again, I saw him maybe 3 months ago. Well,
What
well, not.
year do you think it is?
I. He's going to look around for a moment, look at the Warforged, just staring at them.
I just stare back silently.
I don't know.
What
That
time
was
is it?
Give me a sec. I actually have to find the. I have it written down. I gotta. Ah, here it is. Nope, that's not it. Give me a moment and I can find you the exact year. But yeah, you gave me basically the years, what I'll say for the time being, and I will give you the exact thing. Ah, here it is, delay. Right then. So, the current campaign is 1738. Is the year. He believes it to be 1713.
yeah, you're off by
That is
two
close
and a
to the
half
time of
decades.
my construction.
25
You've
years?
you've been in that pocket for 2.5 decades.
Ah. That would explain the. Again, gestures to Saber. That.
Maybe longer since time was moving there, just slower.
To us, you were moving much slower. Was that fast? Time is weird. Regardless, I do believe somebody had mentioned a way to stabilize things.
Yes, my initial thought's not going to work exactly.
Why is that?
As well, around here, people of your ilk are not exactly welcome. And I gesture generally towards the ears.
Good, make a check on that. Okay, hey, give him a little more. Yeah, he just doesn't understand, but shrugs it off. Like, okay.
We're in. Wow, why can I never remember?
There it is.
We're in Kratos right now,
Yes, I gathered as much when I first came through.
and elves tend to be slaves. And
Humans are racist.
yeah,
When haven't they been?
hey,
Yes, it's very stereotypical.
No, he
Almost
has a
like how they
point, yeah.
stereotypically are racist to elves.
not
And
all of
everybody
us.
else that's non-human.
Well, in Azion, things seem to have been different, but Kratos, well, at least our information on them is accurate.
Yeah, well,
Regardless.
They
bit
are
outdated at this
creative
point would be
bastards.
my
They did
guess.
create sentient life.
I suppose if you are sentient. Again,
I am.
he just kind of squints and looks at you like inquisitively.
He's quite nice once you get to know him.
I'm sure. You, on the other hand, you are much further from home, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
I haven't seen any of yours from Ivex in a while.
Me neither. But, I have business on this godforsaken continent, even though I wish I didn't.
Bianca, unfucking mute already.
Some days you will. Oh, there she is. Hi, Bianca.
Yes, regardless, I do believe somebody was suggesting something. I believe this was your short friend.
We need medical. Some people here need medical attention. Are you a cleric, healer, or doctor?
No, I'm a soldier, unfortunately. I
Do you
know,
have basic? Well,
I know basic first aid, but all of my medical kits.
I believe wasn't able to fully diagnose my friend Eve.
Yeah, she's
Are you
suffering from
familiar
a
with-
severe injury caused by, and he raises up his sword, still covered in her blood. This.
Yeah.
Oh, Eve. This is the person that you thought was evil. I'm taking. I have.
I would
Not him,
gesture
his friend that I shot dead, presumably.
You shot dead his friend.
Yes.
Have you apologized yet?
He
No.
okay. He was a shadowy ghost thing.
You
I
were a
thought it
shadowy
was
ghost
evil.
thing.
No. You came
I'm a
through this
warforged.
portal. Yes, Saber. You're like a dog, goddammit. So we are here on the material plane. You came through the portal as a shadowy ghost thing. I thought you were stalking us, so I wanted to see if you react like a ghost. If you were a ghost, it wouldn't have done anything to you. And at first we thought it didn't. And then suddenly your friend disappeared. How was I supposed to know?
To be honest, that sounds legitimate.
Yeah.
Well, to us, we went through a portal and found more ghosts. And then we figured, oh, they hadn't spotted us. And then one of them shot one of my friends. So I stabbed
I
it.
was about to say, the reaction was also quite legitimate.
So what you're saying, the obvious deficiency was your crew in your ability to stealth.
No. We got through away from the beast much easier than, well,
Well,
whatever
you
it was
believe
originally
that you were
chasing.
able to get through my companions, and you thought they didn't see you, but they did, so you failed.
Saber, they kind of are not synced up in our time. They're moving a lot slower than we are. Like
Oh.
almost 1/10 our speed.
Which
And
is
that must have been a very easy shot for Eve.
Which is why he holds up, Kate. He holds up that him and Kate are still holding hands. This.
This is the only thing that's keeping us able to talk to them without skywriting.
Interesting. I will stand by and wait until you guys figure out your differences and what we're going to do to move forward.
Uh, Alba, you said you had knack with magical equipment. Do you think you can cobble together some kind of stabilizer or anchor?
Well,
Preferably
I
one not like
realized
preferably
we
one not like
already
the
had
one.
access to something that could have helped anchor them here, but it was destroyed and handed over to the church, so we don't have much in the way of using that now, do we?
And to be fair, I'm not sure we'd want to use that, seeing as one of us would probably have to sacrifice our lives to bring them up to, well, bring them into our time stream. I'm not even sure where to go with this.
Well, you know, you gotta do what you got. Not being. Is there a way I can make anything stabilize this burn?
You
Remember what you said since last time.
yeah, you're pretty sure you could throw something together with enough time, but at the immediate moment, not really.
How much time would I need?
Yeah, not at this very second, at least. That's what I'm
Okay,
saying.
but how much time would I need?
Oh, probably like a few days.
Mm.
Granted, it would go faster with the stones. Well, the stone, or at least a part of it.
Yeah, we don't have that, so
What are the odds
we'll
that
go
we didn't
around.
collect all of this stone from the graveyard? There might have been some
I
still
can
buried in
take
the
a
dirt.
look, but I can take a look. That's all I can do. If not, it'll take a few days. So we'll just have to stay in shadows for a while.
So while you're doing that, I suppose I could go into the library and church's archives, see what they have on the town and whatever the heck's happening there.
I suppose I could try and at least calm down the others before they assume I'm dead.
Yeah, that'd probably be smart.
Indeed. And he'll, like, release his hand from you and just disappear.
Oh. Well, I was about to just say, what if they just need an item, anything from our current time to give them like a, because what is it on you or on a persona that syncs them up? I assume it's something that is not influenced by whatever influences that place. So what if they just need an item on their persona to synchronize them to our time? So I was just going to hand them like an item on my person to see if that synchronizes them for the time being.
I gestured to the pen and paper I'd handed them earlier.
Right.
That didn't synchronize them, but allowed them to communicate. So it'd be a question of how powerful of an item would it have to be. And are you
I
willing
guess
to?
to really
Yeah, you could use that
understand,
patience.
we need to find out if you want to help them. Once again, not that I think that is necessarily our problem in the first place.
Well, I want to help
Uh,
at least those that came through the portal to start.
right.
And depending on what we find, maybe helping those that are still trapped afterwards.
I
Because
guess the easiest way would be to get a grasp on the whole situation is to find out what is causing it. If it's a curse, if it's something that this creature that we heard about is doing, maybe, and find a way to circumvent that.
and
Though
who
I'm not
knows?
sure how much information we can find on that.
A creature of that type, who knows what kind of valuable components we might find on it.
Okay. I don't know. You tell me, you're the magic guy.
I was about to say, normally creatures with any kind of power, pieces of them are rare and go for a decent price. Do they not?
Now that
Especially
you
to
mention it,
certain
thinking
crafters.
about it, a rare legendary creature of that type. Yeah, I could do something with that.
Okay. And if this happens to have been something caused by the creature, any item crafted from its materials might have similar effect. Just a thought.
That's all
Seems
assuming that we can take it down. How do you plan on taking down something that is apparently incredibly powerful that we can't even see?
that's where the research comes in. I'm not even
Right.
saying we're going to. I'm saying, okay, here's a reason why we should try if we find out that it's even a viable option.
You
Fair
know,
enough.
sure, that sounds good. In the meantime, hey Saber. God damn it, he's doing updates again,
Yeah, his eyes are just blue screened of death right now.
apparently.
I was off to the graveyard. Just
Go ahead and
spending
give
my
me
own
a
eyeballs this morning.
Oh, but,
perception or investigation, Alba.
let's say take Saber and our driver. I'm going to hit up the library. Eve, if you'd like to help, since you are actually in the town.
Uh, what time of day is it?
It's probably probably around 9 a.m. Nice and
So it's
early.
early in the day.
Yeah, nice and
All right.
early.
If sure, I'll if it'll give me an hour or two, you seem to be more of an upstanding type that you wouldn't mind. I have been teaching our uh now I can't think of the word. What do you call somebody that drives like a carriage?
Bitch.
Driver?
Amazing. Our driver, I guess. Yeah, I've been teaching our driver how to hunt. So whenever the sun rises or goes down, that's when animal activity either starts to rise up or slow down. I like to take him out to teach him a bit how to hunt. So if you
Right,
wouldn't
he was
mind,
supposed to go with Alba, and I'd like Saber to go along with her for protection from wherever the heck they might attack. But if you want to go try and scrounge up something for a later meal before we do this,
I will
go for
take
it.
I will take Mr. Saber with me. And that is all.
Mr.
sounds
Saber.
good.
It's Mr. Saber.
I will. Yep, I will go and uh. Sure, we'll do that then. I'll head out for about 1 or 2 hours and take our Alpha driver with us to go hunting.
Hmm. So Eve and the driver are gonna go off by themselves. Saber and Alba are heading back to the graveyard, and Cadus.
I'm going to start with the library,
Uh huh.
and after a couple hours, if I'm finding nothing even remotely
Are elves allowed in
close,
libraries?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't think I'll see.
well, that's good to know about the sending stones now. But yeah, after a couple hours, I would see if the church would let me browse their archives on something.
It depends on what it is.
Yes, but start with the library.
Okay. Yeah. I'll start with the already rolled thing of Alba. You do find some smaller fragments, and this will greatly accelerate your research. So, you could probably do it in about half a week. Unless Saber can roll higher. Saber,
What am I rolling?
investigation or perception?
Okay. Is anyone hearing me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, because
I
my
could-
thing's not
I
lighting
could
up.
help Saber with the perception.
Are you trained in it?
Yes.
Alrighty then. Saber, you can have advantage.
Okay. With perception.
Yes.
So with investigation, I have +3. But okay, perception it is.
That's good.
Nat freaking 20. I know everything. I
it's-
perceive it all.
It's still loading, but I'll take your excitement as truth for the time being. So yeah, well, Alba found a bunch of scrap and, some notes and everything that had been taken at the moment.
What,
Before
it didn't post to you?
Huh?
It didn't post to you?
No. It's fine. Regardless. While she is, picking up fragments and everything, you go looking through the bodies because, maybe they had something on them. And you
Yeah,
lift
maybe.
up one of the bodies while, that, is loosely buried, and you're checking around the graves. And you notice for one of the headstones, you guys had used part of the actual column. And you look at it for a second and just wonder, this will probably work, and just rip the whole thing out. And just bring it to Alba, who you kind of just show off a little to. Alba, you could probably, with this, depending on the notes that are found on this and how good of a research you do, you could probably knock this out within a day.
Okay. Now we have
A working prototype, at least. Instead of just theory.
so
Also, I have tinkering tools, if that helps.
It could help her.
I'm proficient
well,
in them.
who could get well, I am
Mm-hmm. So you two have your nice little celebration.
yeah, I was just thinking, the research I'm going to do, would it be what cadences? What would it line up, or is it a different kind of research? I'm not really sure.
For what? Oh, right, Cadus. He has to do his research.
Yeah, but about this, you said if I could knock this out in a day with
Yeah, you could knock
what
out.
I have.
You
and
could
some
knock out
research.
a possible working prototype.
Okay.
I assist with some of my tinkering abilities.
Saber decides, fuck it, let's do it in the field.
Well, I have advantage.
I mean, it looks like you both were rolling individual tinkering checks from what I understood. Saber apparently takes the lead on it, though. So yeah. What do you carve out of this stone? What do you tinker the stone into, Saber?
A anthropomorphized lemur.
Okay.
Yep.
So you make a furry.
Why not?
Hmm.
They seem to be very popular in this game world. Oh, actually, the television as a Secret Life at the Zoo, and they're showing that lemur, so that kind of popped in my head.
Yeah. Honestly, The fact that
That's a
Saber
good
a
show.
little
doesn't
bit
on
offended.
anything time magic based just made me chuckle a bit. As that's pretty much the entirety of his class. His time bullshittery.
So, Alba, you watch as Saber turns the valuable stone into a furry. Into a statue of a furry.
Furries weren't a thing back then.
Do you have
I
any...
was metagaming saying that this world has a lot of furries in it. Because it does. There's a whole city of furries.
Yeah, that
What,
wasn't...
the backsies?
That wasn't my choice, to be fair.
No, not the backsies. It was a city of furries.
That was my arm being basically twisted backwards because some asshole decided to be a manipulative dick.
A furry.
Yes.
Is that who I think it is?
Yes.
Fuck him.
Yeah. No, I'm still debating on if I should just nuke it.
It's your fucking game world. Just retcon it for all you care.
Yeah, but I
That's what I
think it
to be
getting
fair-
blown up is funnier.
To be fair, you did kind of nuke it.
Yeah.
By giving a bunch of
Sauce.
idiots with a death wish a bomb.
To be fair, they blew up a good city block. They didn't nuke the whole thing. But no, there are things happening to that city that yeah.
Funny.
Yeah, pretty good shit. So yeah, Alba, how do you respond to Saber presenting you with a Lieber furry?
I don't care. I just care if it works.
I mean,
As soon as you bring that and Kitty sees it, he's just gonna go, you couldn't make it wearable. Like a bracelet or a ring or an amulet.
It wasn't in my
Well, I have it so
hands
the
this
arms
time.
kind of like go up and over so they can be like shouldered like a backpack.
it's big enough that if we had made it into bracelets, we could have maybe had 3 or 4. But I just made this Lieber instead.
Maybe you could just repurpose it, right?
I mean, at this point, it's in such a shape that if you...
No, I make it so it's a lemur. So like it could be like it looks like a bracer. So like the arms, like,
There
you
is more
put
than
on the
one of them
arms,
now.
and then the legs kind of wrap around your arm. The tail like kind of wraps up to your elbow.
It
There you
sounds
go.
like a pretty big creation, so no, there was only one that he made. But it's a Lieber.
One bracer.
Well, that'll
Gee, you can sell
allow
it for
one
money.
guy.
I've
Was
made
like
this
magical
Lieber.
component.
Yes!
It's still usable as magical components.
Bianchi, he rolled the nat 20. I had to give it to him.
No, he didn't.
I mean, for the check, yeah.
I rolled a 15.
You said you had a nat 20. No,
Oh,
not
my
no,
perception.
not the lemur, not the lemur thing. The fucking the finding thing.
Oh, okay.
So, well, yeah, but the Tinker's tool check, Brian.
Yeah, and he made it. It's not that difficult to just carve
But we
stone into a
both did
shape.
it.
Yes, you crafted yours into a bracelet.
Mine's a bracer.
You didn't even mention that for long.
Yes, I'm aware. But yeah, you managed to craft a very loosely together. It's very much you took a bunch of the stones and basically glued them together. Well, not glued, but you know, fused them together. With mending, I assume. You have that spell, right?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, you used
And
mending
with
to basically.
mending, you can reform this this lemur statue to anything you want.
Well, up to a foot of material. It's
Alba just walks over with a sledgehammer. Oh, I'm gonna reform it.
I just want it to be efficient. Every one of these shadow creature people,
The
I don't
efficiency is
that-
granted, but you have to give credit to artistic ability as well.
Just walking around, just following Alba as she mumbles, "Behold, my Lieber." It is superior.
Artistic expression is all well and good, but it's not what we need right now.
Saber bought the $20 DLC pack, so his magic bracelet looks like a lemur backpack.
Basically, yeah.
Well, either way, I give the one I made to. Well, I guess I think it's still away, so.
Mm-hmm. Cadus, you're going to the public library.
Yeah, unless there was a military-based one.
I mean, they recognize your face and let you in, so they don't really stop you from digging around, but you are like every now and again you'll just glance up from your study to just find like two people leaning from their chairs to glare at you and then just lean back to doing whatever the fuck they were doing. Just like a very obvious, hey, we're watching you. And then just go back to the other thing.
It's not like I'm doing anything sneaky.
I know, they're just doing that to be cautious. So go ahead and give me history check. What are you looking for again?
Information on the town that we pulled these guys from, and whatever the heck was released there.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
As well as information about
Very nice.
time magic bubble bullshit.
Uh,
He doesn't even know where to begin looking for that.
You figure, first of all, war documents is the correct choice for this. But actions taking against against ASEAN is also a good place. So you check through there, and you find out essentially, what the hell was it? Give me a sec while I scroll up to see what it was called.
It's
It's AFA something.
Cursed Bay or something like that.
Akafis.
Yeah.
So you find out Akafis was essentially a what is it? Not a bay town, a port city. And they decided, yeah, we're just gonna storm this. But they were having issues with it due to druids. So to deal with that, they had launched experimental, what they call prototypes for new soldiers into the area to help, make landing a lot easier. Eventually, however, the tides were not kind to them, and most of their ships sank. At least they don't blatantly say that in the battle reports, but after reading through about 5 different reports, you get a good, solid image of what the fuck happened. So they basically launched these creatures at the city. The druids said, hey, fuck you, and destroyed most of their ships. At least that's what the, based off of the repair reports state, at least. As most of their ships were lost. And eventually they decided to, land further south. As that was an easier place to go. As for what they released there, it's very few information is available to it outside of, an experimental number. From what you're able to find out on what was contained within the experiment, it contained human genome. Or the equivalent thereof. Essentially, they took a human and really fucked with it. They gave it all the curses, all the diseases, and they were like, all right, it's stable. Let's launch this bitch.
Next big question becomes, did it mention that it was something done by the church?
All that they state is that it was given to them from higher-ups. It's usually just some random person's name, and as you follow that trail, it's just name after name after name, and you slowly realize, oh, this is just a misleading paper trail that leads to nobody that actually exists.
So, I can safely draw the assumption, yes. Yes, it was.
Yeah, basically. But they don't give you any specific fingers to point to. It's just suddenly, oh, we have this. And I was told from higher ups, I was told from higher ups to tell these people that higher ups said to tell these people, and so on and so forth, to throw this at that. To use these during the landing.
Interesting. So some kind of eldritch arcane abomination made out of a human. Or
Originally.
human-like being.
Whatever it was originally was human.
And how many did they say they released?
They said that they basically mortared the place with the creatures for about 3 hours straight. In estimations, maybe 50. As it took a while to, first of all, make sure that everything was properly loaded into it, and then afterwards, launch it.
Hey. Well, that's probably about all I'm going to get out of this. Which would mean I'd have to go check into Plan B. Nobody likes going to the Plan B.
Nobody likes Plan B. Eve.
And Plan
Yeah.
C, Charles dies.
Go ahead
What?
and give me a stealth check.
Okay. Where's my thing? Come on, stealth. I'm good at that. Ooh, 27.
Okay.
Rogues.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what do I get for 22?
Oh, yeah, no, you accomplish what you're accomplishing.
No. Hunting game. What do I find with the 22?
You find enough to feed yourself and your friends for a day.
Like a deer or a boar?
I'd say a couple of rabbits at best, and maybe a piglet or two. The mom,
Piglet?
however, on the other hand, put up quite a fight for the piglets, and rather than, risking your chest being popped open, you just decided to take the 2 kids and fuck off.
Oh, so boar babies, I guess.
Yes.
That's fair. I mean, we can live off of that for like a solid, probably more than a day, probably 2, at least.
Depends on how much you guys eat and who you're feeding.
I
It all
can make
depends
stew out
on
of
if
it.
the barbarian returns.
Yeah, hopefully they do.
I am going to return to the house first,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just going to. Is anybody even there at the house right now?
No, Bianca, that is not what that is. I believe Alba is there by herself.
Am I?
Or,
Yeah,
Well, I
Alba.
thought Saber
or
would be with me.
Elva, the moth is there. Alba
Oh.
and Saber would be coming in probably like in about 5 minutes.
With a lemur.
Yes, with a lemur. Saber is quite happily showing it off. At least you assume he's happy.
Interesting. I found some game we can eat. I can make stew again.
I do not require food.
Maybe you should, or maybe you should try it. Maybe you like it.
A
I
man
do not have a taste
made
bud.
of metal.
Well,
and
that's a misnomer. My exoskeleton might be made of metal, but I have components of wood as well.
huh?
Well, but if you're a man of non-organic material.
My wood is organic.
Yeah.
You know what?
But Elba, you're an arcane constructor. Why don't you construct taste buds for him so he can enjoy food?
Thank you. Anyway, where is these guys?
That would be an interesting experiment for you.
Are you looking
Considering
for
you
the
already
shadows?
I suppose, yeah.
They're currently appear to be having a conversation with one another, just off to the side.
Alright, whichever one of you guys wants to test this out first, I'm just holding the bracelet. Read.
Out of character reminder, they can't hear you.
Right.
She
Yeah.
does
Yeah,
know
I'll
that.
just write a note, I guess.
You just write a note that says "put me on" and just place the bracelet on the ground.
I guess, or just try me, because I don't know if it's gonna work.
All right.
We could test it.
Go ahead and roll me a D100 plus 9. Alright, not bad, not bad. Alright, so one of them walks over and picks the thing up and looks it over for a moment or two. You know, they take about a minute to even reach the damn thing, of course. And then they spend another 3 minutes just looking it over, trying to figure out what the fuck is this.
No, I would have said,
I know, but after, like, it's not that they're taking their time to look it over, it's just that's how you're perceiving what they're doing.
okay.
And after, again, another minute, they, you know, unclasp it and clasp it onto their wrist, and... Do. This guy shows up. Can you not see it?
Hallelujah. No,
Can you see that, or no?
I
now,
can.
yes.
Ah,
Just it's time loading.
and he just slowly secures it to his wrist, just looking the thing over.
Hallelujah.
What do you sing praise,
Hello.
child?
Because it worked.
He's gonna look at the craftsmanship for a moment or two, and then look to you. I suppose that would make sense. Intricate carvings, small, delicate hand workings. Quite well done, child, quite well done.
Well, I know.
Huh. You want some stew?
His eyes are just going to immediately look to you.
I'm just holding piglets and bunnies.
Let's see if he notices anything.
Yeah, with Tabaxi, big fucking deal. Whoop whoop. Let's get over it.
I prefer not to dine on such things.
Alright.
He's going to just flex his
Do you
fingers a
not
little bit.
require food?
As long as I have my commitments, I do not require sustenance until my job is done.
You have commitments?
Yes. Commitments to my
To-
orders.
Your 30-year-old orders?
Is that how long it's been? I was told we've been gone for a while. But if that is how long it has been, my orders do not change. For long as I draw breath. Regardless, I do believe the others should be returned here, at least for the time being, until we can figure out what to do.
And what are your orders?
Again, that is more private matters. All I can advise is to not get in my way.
Well, I thought of make every a wearable accessory, so there's that thing. And just like two
That
sabers.
he's just going to stare at the lemur for a second.
For
That
the record, I did not make them.
that is certainly a creation. He's going to look at the robot. Perhaps your kind have gained some form of sentience.
I have.
Yeah, it's been talked about to death at this point. Let's just, see if this works. I don't know, ask them to gather around it or something.
Right then. And he's going to just gently whisper something to his hand and blow it into the air. And after a few seconds, one of the shadows comes up and picks up Saber's thing and confusedly tries to figure out how to put it on. Is it a bracer or is it a backpack?
It's a bracer.
Okay. Right. And eventually the person slides it on. And it is your elven friend with the silver blade.
Oh, hey, it's you. Do you want some stew?
No thank you.
Alright. Nobody hungry after 25 years? That's confusing.
No, we usually tried to eat as much as we could, so...
What do shadow people eat?
We're not shadow people.
Huh.
We're normal people like, well, everyone here.
Right.
But regardless, no, we aren't hungry. For now. Thank you.
You're welcome.
But,
Oh, by the way, Cadus isn't here, but the Eve's wound chest is, like, killed over at this point already.
nah. Right then. But I do believe, according to what our group is saying, we would prefer to make our way to Ekra as soon as possible. To try and see if we can perhaps meet up with anyone there. Perhaps even find out what happened to the rest of our people.
Well, maybe we should like need us to get back.
Speaking of the devil, Cadus.
Hmm?
You sneeze, and you don't know why. But you're now at the place that you need to be at. I believe you're at the church, yes?
That was the next stop.
So, you enter the church. People, of course, wearing as little as possible, feeling the sun on their skin, oiled up and everything. And, of course, the occasional drunken slob talking up one of the occasional clerics, saying, "Oh, well, perhaps you could cure my headache," and other things. And make things rise again. And they just kind of roll their eyes, as this is a regular occurrence.
Flag down someone and has to be brought to the high priest or high priestess, whoever's in charge.
Yep, you run up. Yeah, you get brought to the priestess that had given you the disc to begin with. Ah, yes. Hello, child. How might I help you?
I was wondering if I could dig through your older archives, about 20, 30 years, from about 20, 30 years ago. Has something to do with the disc we found.
Why would you want something from such a bloody period?
Well, it apparently opens up a gateway to about that time, and there was a creature that we were worried might have escaped.
She looks at you inquisitively for a moment or two. If
It-
it is that big of a problem, perhaps you would like to return the disc and we can compensate you handsomely.
I'd be more interested in trying to find the information on the creature and make sure that if it did get out, we can just stick it back through before returning the disc to the church itself.
Child,
Clean up our own mess and all that.
I assure you, if anything has escaped from there, you would best to inform the church and we shall deal with it.
Well, I've already... It open. Like, I don't know if it made it out. It's... it was very hard to see, kind of almost shrouded in shadow. So,
So what you are telling me is that you have used this disc to open a portal back in time and have managed to bring something from there to here.
may not necessarily be back in time, because while that when we stepped through it ourselves, it felt as if time was moving at a different rate on the other side.
I see.
As your dossier probably tells you, I have some knowledge of the arcane, but that was something new to me. I'm not even sure if that was possible. But it's like it has its own rate of time flow.
Well, it does appear that whatever has happened there has had some sort of effect on you. If you would like, I can send some paladins and clerics to further explore this phenomenon, if you'd perhaps like, but I cannot give you access to our files, unfortunately. For you are not a member of the church, nor the higher orders.
Well, I guess if we find out whether or not it did escape and we survive, we'll pass the word along.
Right then. Well, for obvious reasons, I am going to have to send a group back with you to explore this.
Oh, great. Someone's committing a party now. Bringing the Inquisition here.
Hmm?
Nothing. I'm just kind of talking. Everyone's like giving a collective meta sigh. Now the Inquisition's getting involved.
I mean, some people are apparently screaming.
I was about to say,
Yeah, Cadus, you opened your mouth too much, so now the church is coming in.
just to say, that's perfectly fine.
So, yeah, we may have found a way to jump into the past, towards, enemy territory. We're just trying to fix whatever's going on there. Oh, you found a way to change the past. Oh, do tell us more. And you just continue to spill forth. So, yeah, no, their church is following you.
I was like, that's perfectly fine. There's a restroom on the premises, right?
I think so. Yeah, there would be a bathroom, yeah.
Not a problem. I just need to use the restroom before I lead the way.
Of course.
And I make my way to the restroom. I pull out the sending stone I'm still holding on to. And I send a warning.
What's your warning?
Guys, try to whatever you're doing to stabilize the people that came through. Stop. Get them back hiding in whatever time stream they're in. And I think that's probably the end of the sending right there.
I
Who do you
mean,
send
it's
it
not-
to?
presumably Alba.
It goes to whoever's holding the other stone, which would be Alba.
So Alba, you get this message. What do you do with it?
Alba has a stroke.
Yes. Apparently
Meanwhile,
so.
I'm just standing in the kitchen being like, do 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 do. Just,
Me-
it smells really good for everybody who's present, which is like nobody.
Meanwhile, Saber
I'm
out
like
of character.
just standing there.
Meanwhile, Saber out of character is just screaming, "Fuck!"
Eh. In my mind.
Oh, no, not only you, man. I always, like halfway through, I was like, oh man, you're fucking this up for us.
Oh, this is gonna be. Well, we just made some friends, but we're gonna soon lose them.
Yep. I mean,
I-
hey, that's an end to that quest line real quick. You know, I didn't even have to convince anybody.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So, Bianca, why are you muted?
It smells really good in the house for everybody. Like, can you
I
smell
forgot I
Saber?
was muted.
You dumbass.
Yeah, whatever.
So Alba, you get that message.
Alright, you guys need to take this shit off. You guys need to hide.
Why would we hide?
Because the church is on the way, and everyone here in this little house, well, the owners of this house, you know, the mother and their children, they're innocent, and I don't want them caught in the crossfire of this crap. So, you guys need to hide. Right now.
Velik's just going to look to the elf and then back at you with a raised brow. How many of them are coming?
Oh, how the hell should I know that?
How did you acquire this information?
From a sending stone from Cadus.
Couldn't you ask him?
I don't want to.
You have one cast in your stone that I can respond to.
Yeah, but.
Also,
But that would be it
here,
until-
right?
also wait, she can still respond to yours.
Yes.
Yep, 25 words.
But I
Yeah.
can't send another message
Alright.
till dawn.
So she could technically send 50 words, technically.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a reply, so asking him how many there are is pointless.
No,
Because
you
he'll
can
be here before then.
you can send another. You can send a message from your stone to me that I can reply
Yes.
to.
Oh, okay. Well, that's gonna
Works like the sending
just
spell,
asks
basically.
how many are on the way, I guess.
Cadus, from your bathroom, give me a perception check.
Actually, I'll say how many are on their way and lead them to the graveyard because I feel like getting out of this house is the
Yeah, bringing the portal.
best course of action.
Basically, at that I'd say, don't know how many.
Yeah, it's just a cacophony of metal plate being bashed around.
Don't know how many. Bring gate to, and you're saying bring them to graveyard. It's like okay, bring gate objects.
Well, have
Like
we
our
gotten
little
them all
mirror
out?
and-
Yeah.
How many do we know that are trapped in there?
Do you
We have a number.
do you ask the party or do you ask?
Well, is she, I assume that she's relaying that shit's about to go down.
Yes.
I turn to our new elf friend, soon might not be elf friend. The church has been made aware of your presence. How many are trapped within your pocket dimension?
From the ones we were able to at least get out, well, at least to safety originally from the initial strike, to when we last checked, maybe 35? There were other groups, though, so there could be more.
We don't have the materials to free all of you. So your options is to go back in and help defend your men.
We need to get to the
And-
graveyard.
The graveyard, why halfling?
Because we don't live here. This is the home of people who are no connection to this whatsoever.
Well, we can walk and talk.
Right then. Well, the elf more or less takes off his after saying, "I'll gather everyone, Valrek. I assume you have your orders?" And Ralk could just nod. "Unfortunately, that means my orders are here now.
Understood.
Especially if the church is getting involved."
We unfortunately are technically, well, we're independent contractors.
From my information of the church, at least in the old world, you all would have been tried as heretics and executed on the spot.
They require our abilities.
And you willingly give them?
For profit.
And our lives.
Very well. I do not agree with such a practice. But you're probably more useful to me than being corpses.
All right. Well, as we're moving towards the graveyard, what do you think, Eve?
I was standing in the kitchen. I didn't catch any of that conversation.
Eve, bring your stew. We're moving to the graveyard. We might have to feed
What?
members of the church.
But I just got done making this.
Good. We can feed it to the church. Maybe this will help. You humans enjoy meals.
God damn it.
If you could even call them humans.
Well, you all look the same to me.
Barak just slowly turns to look at you with a raised brow.
Guess I'm bringing
Oh,
over my
who
pod.
cares? You guys move slower than we do. We need to go.
And when I had my pot to Saber, here, carry this. This is still hot.
All right, I'll carry it. No big deal.
Don't spill it. This is a really good one. This is a good batch.
So
Hopefully, this will place the Inquisition, not the Inquisition, the church in a good mood.
Can you smell Saber?
I do have senses, and I do smell the individual ingredients, but I do not smell as a purpose of pleasure.
he does not
Right.
smell in the context of what you smell.
Yes. When you smell, you have receptors that activate pleasure. I do not.
Well, that's a shame because this stew smells really fucking good.
I'm sure it does. I've noticed that
Regardless.
most humans enjoy the smell.
Uh,
Yeah, Varek's already just walking out of the house, not even knowing where the fuck he's supposed to go.
well, I
We'll like walking and
Fast
talking at the
people, so
same
I'll
time.
move
Okay,
away.
I was
We can
gonna say.
multitask. I mentioned that before, how we're all kind of like walking and talking at the same time.
Yep.
Wait, we're bringing the portal, yes?
yes, I have the mirror and I have the disc.
Valak will just pick up the mirror with one and just shoulder it and walk out.
We don't need that one,
It's big.
but the pocket one. Yeah, but the woman in that house will kill us all. So we'll put that down.
He just stares blankly. And just continues out the door with the mirror.
Oh no. Oh,
What's happening? Why are we running from the church?
should've-
We are not. We are technically meeting the church. Apparently, our friend informed the church of our findings.
shouldn't have let him
Why
go
would he do that?
alone.
That seems like such a stupid idea.
You're going to have to
He's
ask
just a
Cadus
boy.
because he was the one that performed the ill-informed action.
Oh dear, and here I thought he was the smart one.
And then he immediately ran off to the bathroom. Guys!
No, it's Alba.
Alba!
You know, I just want a normal day, like a family.
He may be smart, but he's not dishonest.
Fucking. They better not spill my stew. Spent half an hour making this, and like 2 hours hunting the animals for it. It's all self-made, well, except the spices, of course. But it's fresh. It's all fresh. Like the most exciting thing I had all day, cooking stew, and apparently missing out on conversations that everybody's having. Can't make food. Nothing. Get stabbed
Maybe the
in
church will
meantime.
enjoy it.
Yeah, I fucking hope. I hate dealing with the church, Saber. You know that?
Yes, Eve, you maybe should run back and grab some bowls and some spoons.
Actually, I have
Take
some of my
everything.
cooking utensils. I'm fine.
Okay. Do you have enough for the church?
No.
I have 3.
No.
Well, hopefully, maybe go back and quickly get some more.
Let's just steal from this nice family.
Sure.
We will
I'll go
return it.
back and steal their silverware.
If I have time, I'll make them new sets. It's fine.
We'll only borrow them so we can have
I'll
a
make them nicer.
cookout in the graveyard. The picnic in the graveyard. That's the name of the episode.
Alright, give me a sec. I'll rename this fucking episode.
I'll go back and grab like probably all of the pots and pans that they have and all of the silverware.
The only possible, just the bowls. The bowls.
Bowls, I guess. All of the bowls and all of the spoons.
Poor family.
Yeah, well, her husband has a fucking death wish and apparently demolishes the house on a regular basis, so...
But the silverware is
the-
immaculate.
Thanks,
That's
this
great.
poor
Maybe
family.
I could sell it afterwards for all I fucking care. Is it actual silver?
I mean... Let me check. You don't know.
I would know.
I know. But you don't. At least
So it's
you
not.
you don't have any effect of it now.
Okay, that's good. That's fair enough. Yeah, I'll just, take all of the balls and
Granted,
all of the...
you're also wearing
things.
gloves.
I always wear gloves.
Ah, so you wouldn't know.
Great.
Now without testing it.
How many balls do they have?
Most of them are wooden and maybe 5.
Oh, great.
It's
Well,
only for, like, individual family members. And one of them has clearly been beaten to shit, so you assume that's, dad's.
what if they have guests?
They bring their own shit.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah. If you travel to somebody's house, you usually bring your own silverware and eatery.
Huh.
In fact,
How expensive?
the only time you would be given silverware is usually at parties for high nobles.
Who can afford the spare?
Yeah, who could
How much
afford
does
that
a-
shit and usually flexed on it by having their
You know
face
what,
engraved
I'll-
in the silverware just to
Let's
flip
just-
you off every time you use it.
Let's just get on with this.
Poor
If
bitch.
I have to, I'll make them new fucking sets.
I mean, I was about to
Nothing
ask how much
nicer.
a wooden bowl costs. I can just pick up some. They can't be that expensive.
You realize that they're probably
We'll
traveling
replace
with their
everything with
own.
better stuff. All right, let's get. We're at the graveyard. We're setting up the stew. We're putting up blankets.
You're taking out the foldable tables. You're setting up the heat racks.
Yep.
You got those
We
little
put the
those
chef
discs.
hat back on. Eve is wearing a chef hat with an apron that says "Kiss the Cook."
You got those little petroleum discs that you light the fire under and you put the tins on top of.
It's not Asian food, man. It's a stew.
What? No. I was more referring to.
Yeah, I know what he's
modern
talking about
yeah.
catering.
Yeah,
He's
catering.
talking about catering.
You're basically setting up a
Oh.
whole catering thing.
Right. With one stew pot. You know, sure.
Ah,
Yeah, why not?
It's really good fucking stew. I'll give you that. It is gourmet quality. So hey, maybe it will actually uplift the mood.
Well,
I
we
don't
gotta get
know.
that fire so we can keep it nice and hot.
Yeah. I have a tinderbox.
Like I said, so we got the stew cooking. We got blankets laid out. We're
Valric
ready, we're
simply
ready for
just-
the Inquisition.
Valric simply walks over and just casts heat metal on it.
There you go.
Nice. Even has some fine spices from the spice kits I picked up. You know, some dried garlic, some thyme, a little bit of oregano.
Now, did you use Top
Salt,
Chef is the
pepper.
question.
What?
Did you use the Top Chef?
I don't know what that means.
the knife.
No, I still don't have that. Cadus has that.
No, I handed it to you when you asked for it last.
But no, it's not my inventory.
It should have
I'm using. I literally picked up 10 spice kits, so just I have enough spices. I'm using spice kits to spice my food.
Alright. Regardless, you feel them approaching before you even hear them. And you hear them before you see them. As they march in unison, in perfect formation, down the road,
Lean over to Eve and like, what an eccentric performance.
walking towards you guys, fully
Yeah.
decked out in full plate mail, head to toe metal, spears, halberds, and swords
We're gonna need more bowls.
either on their shoulders, on their hips, and on their backs. A few of them even carrying what appear to be long, empty pipes with attached pieces of wood. You just popped. Everyone else heard that, right?
Remind me to punch Cadus in the face when I see him the next time.
Yeah, and you see Cadus just
He's getting
meekly.
line.
You see Cadus just meekly in front of them all, clearly being dwarfed, with the head priestess just following in ceremonial garb, bouncing with each step.
Dumbass.
Well, let's put on a smile. I cannot, but we must look friendly and non-threatening.
I can't really change much about my appearance, so
Saber,
I guess
out
I'll
of
just-
the corner of your eye, you just watch Valric just snap his fingers and disappear.
that's a
works.
handy trick. I wish I could do that.
It's not as great as you
At this
think.
point in time, Cadus wishes he could do that.
Yeah, as Cadus, you lead the Inquisition and the Church right to your friends. How do you
We
greet
made
them?
some stew.
How do you greet your friends,
Yes,
Cadus?
we have hot stew for your eating pleasures.
Also, Elva is nowhere to be seen.
Greet them with a wave and a very, very sheepish look on my face, going, "I did not expect this."
When I make eye contact with them, my eyes will just glow red just for a second.
Same.
Alba, do you wish to join
And
in on the
tries
cringe?
to go, if he tries to go for the stew,
No, I
I'll deny
don't.
it.
Yeah, this is for the church. This is not for you, Cadus. It's for the soldiers.
So wait, you all give Cadus the evil eye?
Yep.
Well,
Which-
I'm giving her no evil eyes. I'm engaging with this shit.
Which, if y'all were smart, you would not be acting like you knew they were coming. Just saying.
No, we're having a picnic.
Exactly.
I
We
built
made
this.
stew.
I
As
built
you
this.
see, we do
fountain-
not have enough bulbs for the church.
Putting the muzzle.
Yeah,
Wait
Saber,
for
just in the background, like a number just slowly starts ticking up as you're just subconsciously counting every new face that you see. You're
amount-
currently at
The amount
about
of the times
30.
we're gonna have to hit them.
You're currently at 30. And it keeps ticking up.
Wow, Cadus, you brought so many friends. We were not expecting this.
Yeah, I don't think my stew is going to be enough for all of those people.
You're gonna have to, share.
The head priestess will, of
We need
course...
sample cups. That's what we need. Not bowls, but sample cups.
The head priestess, of course, steps forward. As much as I'm sure this Foz is substantial for some, we're not here for the pleasantries.
That's unfortunate. But
Simply,
there's the disc. We point out the disc.
you
I
mean
haven't. So.
Well, we know what they're here for. I'm not gonna freaking deny it.
which one of you has it?
I do.
I just point at the halfling then.
She simply extends her hand.
You just
High five.
take it out and hand it over. There's not much I can do here.
She'll take the disc and look it over slowly. And she's just going to stop for a moment and just glance around herself as if she heard something. Is there more of you? I could have sworn that I'd seen more with you before.
They went back to town to.
Oh, and Charles
Oh, wait.
disappeared.
Yeah, so did the big guy.
No, I could have sworn there was even more, yeah.
And the moth. I don't know
They
what she's
haven't
doing.
been here for a few days.
Mm.
They've been to themselves.
But people have been going in and out of the graveyard all day.
Yes, we've had reports of that. Regardless, I do believe you wish to be compensated.
Yes, please.
She'll just reach out and reach up into a bag, or just reach into her into her garment and just pull out a small bag and just, eyeball a couple of coins inside of it. And she'll look at the people that she can see. How many of you in this group?
Well, if we
5.
include Charles and Ma,
We
Girl.
don't.
we
There's
don't.
2 more of us. However, they're not here right now.
Well, we can include the Moth, but the big guy and Charles, well, wherever the fuck they are, they're certainly a part of this right now.
Yes, I believe we are turning it over. We deserve the compensation, not them.
Course.
Exactly.
Right then. So that is 5.
Yep.
Again, she pauses and looks around. Her eyes just
Just
slowly scanning over every one of you.
The stew is still nice and hot if any of the soldiers want a bowl.
Yes.
Sure it is. Regardless. Here. And she will produce 5 small bags.
Yeah.
And she'll just place them into the arms of Alba. Alba, give me a strength check.
Save or just standard?
Just a standard check. Alright, good.
Hey.
So you don't collapse under the weight of well over 2,500 gold.
Yeah, that's enough.
And she just places those bags on top of you. I'm glad this could be handled peacefully.
We would have it no other way.
Your counter stops about at 65. Well then. And she'll simply turn, give a signal, and you hear a couple of whistles go off down the line as they turn about and start marching back.
I try and hand off some bowls of stew to like the guys in the end, you know, who aren't in front of like any like their officers to see if they'll
stop with
take it.
this.
Persuasion.
I'll assist him.
Yay! Nat 20.
Jesus fuck. Let's see if any of them break their codes.
It is gourmet stew. It smells
It is,
really
yeah, it is,
good.
it is like, you know, like Wolfgang Puck is here serving them.
I'll give you 2d6. Yeah, you get about just 5 quick dips in bowls that quickly disappear up sleeves.
Nice.
But like
See?
as they're passing it by, they're like, you know, they mechanically just kind of snap their heads towards you guys to give intimidating glares, and like you see a couple of meek arms just shoot out like fucking tongues and just go dip whoop.
Now we're gonna have to buy more bowls because they already had 5 bowls.
Well, no, they had
I
they
mean-
have their own bowls that they reach out with, and
Oh,
Oh.
no, their bowls are
That's-
better than yours because they have lids on their bowls that they can easily slip up their sleeves without spilling anything.
Ooh, that's fancy.
Eh,
I want lidded bowls.
church has their perks.
we should go and buy some of those bowls for this family.
Yeah,
It's
that's
very
sounds
convenient. It's very
good.
convenient that they don't spill those soups.
Yeah.
And this stew actually does give you one temporary hit point if you consume it per hit die that you have.
Oh no. Let's just give the church that we're totally not plotting against a way to heal themselves.
Well, it's literally just per hit die. So for me, I have
And-
2 hit
and-
die. That would be 2 temporary hit points
And that only lasts for what, like a day?
a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, until you do a long rest.
And until you do a long rest.
It's basically a little overshield thing.
Meh.
It-
Regardless.
Yeah, it's just really good food. And you know what? Fuck all of you all. I'll just sit down and eat a bowl myself because it's my fucking stew. I would offer some Saber, but
Well, I can technically consume things. I just have no taste. And because I spent so much time hawking this stuff, I will act like I am eating it.
good. Does he also get temporary hit points?
Technically, yes, I would gain the benefits, yes.
Technically, yes, but I should say
Nice.
no. I should say no.
Come
Yeah,
on, give the man his stew.
Eve, I'll say that you managed to get one of the last bowls left, leaving Saber to basically just pick up the pot and eat the pot.
Don't eat my pot, man. I need that. That was 8 gold.
No, I'm not eating the pot. I'm like chugging it down even though it's steaming hot and I don't even feel it.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I actually have 4 hit die because I'm level 4, so I get 4 temporary hit points.
Valrek eventually reappears holding them off.
Well, that did not go how I had hoped. I was hoping they would just
You
archive.
are a fucking dumbass. What did you expect was going
I'm gonna
to
hit him
happen?
with the pot. I'm gonna hit him
Yep.
with the empty pot.
Yeah, I'm not gonna stop you.
Alright, roll to hit. Cadus, what's your armor class?
12.
25.
You take 5 points of bludgeoning damage as Saber beats the shit out of you with a pot.
So just one like whack. I just glare at and I just kind of like stare at him.
Man,
You
now
could
there's a
have
dent in
gotten
my
us
pot.
Killed. It was I undo the dent by punching it.
Look, I was trying to get access to their records to figure out what the
So
creature
you
was.
tell them everything.
I told them that it opened up a portal. Something might have slipped out. And
What
that,
slipped out?
I kind of vaguely passed on the same vague description I was given but for the creature.
Cadis,
didn't
I
tell them
believe it should be.
anything applicable.
I vote that Cadis is not allowed to talk to the church unless with parental supervision.
I agree.
Well, I look over at Eve. Somebody was supposed to join me on my research.
I said I was going out for 2 hours hunting animals.
Yes.
I did that. And then I made some stew, and then we got the message. I didn't have time to do anything.
I spent more than 3 hours in the library before I went to the church.
Maybe your time sense is off, because I did everything that I said I would do.
Yes, you said you were going to go out for 2 hours hunting.
In
Yes.
an hour to cook the stew.
You didn't say anything about cooking.
Well, I had fresh produce. What else was I going to do with it?
You could have left it draining.
Draining.
Yeah, it was very irony.
Saber
that
says
gives
while scraping his
flavor.
fingers against the pot and just shoving it into his face hole. I don't know why, I just think the idea of Saber eating a pot to be funny.
I'm not gonna take him out with like a bunch of gold on it.
I mean, you did
Saber's
hit
just
somebody with my pot, so...
Saber's just taking a knife and scraping iron shavings off and just sucking on the knife.
What I was able to find, though, in the military archives, was those creatures were once human.
Alright.
And some kind of magical experimentation was done on them to turn them into whatever the hell they are now. And they were pretty much catapulted onto the city from ships. And there may be anywhere between 1 and 50 of them in the town. I'm going to look over at Valrak and go, does that sound about right on your end?
More or less, yes.
I was hoping to get more information about what was done
AFK
to
real
create
quick.
them.
Mhm.
Seeing as the chain of names led to a dead end, which makes me think church cover-up.
Well, they did bear the old inquisitive seals, at least similar to the ones that they were all bearing right there. Your soldier friends.
I wouldn't say they're our friends.
You march
I
with
figured-
them.
Not by choice.
Then why?
Some of us like living. And basically, the ultimatum we were given is do this job for them, or be persecuted as heretics and burned to death, if we're lucky.
I'd rather to be burned a heretic than work for them, personally, but... weaker souls, I suppose.
Thing is, you'd at least know why you're being burned.
Hmm.
I do not.
Vrelk's
And
just going
some
to walk
people...
over to you and just grab you by the chin and just look you over a little bit. And you do have his cheekbones. How old are you again?
Honestly, not 100% sure.
He's just
Guessing
gonna
someone in the 20s.
he's just gonna shove a finger into your mouth and just pull your lower and upper jaw open to just check your teeth.
I am a whore.
No baby teeth. He's just gonna lift up your gums and just check you over, and then, you know, pull your head down, check for any gray hairs.
Well then.
Yeah, you're probably either his son or his grandson. Or some form of it. That's all I can tell you. And he'll just take his fingers out of your mouth. On the other hand, I could be entirely wrong. I'm not a medical professional.
Though something that did pique my interest is you mentioned the crescent that the Inquisition was wearing is similar to the one that you remember.
Yes.
Did it look like this? And I want to hold up the drawing I made from the sigil that I know. Did it look like this?
Yes. It more looked like the armor of the bodies that are strewn about here were wearing, but yes, well, buried around here.
Right. I mean more like when you engage with the Inquisition, was this the exact type of symbol that they were wearing on their armor?
Of course.
Right. I figured, but it is good to have confirmation, huh?
No, they took a lot more prisoners, to my understanding, back in those days.
I wonder why.
I've been talking with your moth friend for a few moments, and to my understanding, where I need to be heading is a rather well-known prison. And I intend to visit.
That sounds like you have quite a journey ahead of you.
It would not be... Oh, there. My orders wouldn't see it any other way, to be fair.
Who do you think would be there after 30 years?
If I'm lucky, offspring of survivors. If I'm even more lucky, old soldiers I can take revenge on.
On
Huh.
or four.
I don't see why not both.
Well, if soldiers are imprisoned there, wouldn't they have been your allies at one time?
Yes, but chances are they're either dead by now, or, well, probably moved on and had children of their own, or turned. But that's if we're lucky.
Though I am kind of upset that they took the item.
Yes.
I would have liked to have had a chance to help those still behind.
Yes. It would have been really useful if they did. It really would be a good thing if they... It wouldn't have been a good thing if they did get their hands on it. And he'll just open his coat and pull it out.
What?
And then what did they just take?
I'm not sure, but whatever it was, originally was a piece of rock I found lying around and made it look like the disc.
And at that point, sudden realization's gonna flash across Cadis's face as he goes from smiling to, oh shit.
Why do you think I was invisible?
Better question is, do you really think they're not going to notice that in a short period?
That sounds like their problem and not mine.
But we're linked directly to it, which means that if it's gone and they know about it, and they find out that we fucked them over, or in their eyes we fucked them over, that means they're going to be coming for us.
Then simply blame me. I welcome the challenge.
They don't
To be
even know
fair-
that you're here.
Exactly. And
So why would
I
they
have,
believe us?
and therefore I have no direct association with either of any of you here.
But to be fair, I did tell them that a creature potentially escaped.
Exactly. Regardless,
No.
I'll be heading north. That is my plans. What the rest of you do is up to yourselves.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Well,
All you missed is that the church didn't actually get the real disc.
I get you.
Well, I would like to at least finish anchoring the rest of your companions.
At this point, I'm sure we could probably work something off of this, and he'll just hold up the lemur. We could probably work something from there. There's enough stone here to at least repurpose. And for the time being, the smaller one will have to suffice for me.
Beyond that, we're actually between jobs right now, so
Well, if I'm not mistaken, if my suggestion is correct, you'll be blaming me for the missing artifact to keep your own names clear. That is my suggestion. However, if you were to travel with me, I don't believe that suggestion would hold up too well under scrutiny. Though I would be appreciative of the company.
that's why I was thinking of blaming a random creature that came through the gate. This way we're not lying. You are something that came through the portal.
He'll just simply, flex his eyes a bit, like, yeah, not wrong.
So
And
think
when we
about
first
it.
saw you, you were nothing more than a shadow to us, so
Think about it. We will have to remain here for a few days, though, because if when they realize it, they will come looking for us, and if we're suddenly gone, they'll probably think that we're running from them. So it would be much safer for us if we remain here, so that we're obvious to find. Then we can blame it on, one of the shadow creatures took it. So that hopefully, if they believe us, which is still in question, that if it should work out, we'll clear our names, and then we're free to travel again, and wouldn't draw suspicion to us.
which makes sense since we still have to go back to town, anchor the rest
Yes.
of the people that came through, and find some way to sneak to safety.
They all should actually, if they're following the proper orders, will also be heading to my understanding, to Sastari.
Yeah, except for they're probably still in town at this point. As I look down at my watch and see, at best, maybe an hour or two has passed.
Well, you stated that they move at different times. Given what we've experienced, most of them have become pretty good at hiding so long as it's not inside a small building and clustered together after being chased.
To be fair, I think the only reason why we were able to see your folk at all is because we too had just come through.
Perhaps. So in that case, I don't see why they would be able to see them then.
There's a chance that they have access to a type of site we not. And then there's also the issue of the fact that your allies move at best 1/10 our speed. We'll be turning old and gray probably by the time they get to anywhere worthwhile in Sostaria.
Perhaps.
Never mind wherever you're trying to go.
Perhaps.
Anchoring them would at least allow them to move more quickly and be aware of
Personally,
their
I
surroundings.
don't think you have enough stone to do that, though.
How many of you came through?
Enough.
I only counted about 8,
Oh.
minus the one that was shot.
Let me think for a moment. There were about... Not counting the one that got shot. I believe 17.
Looking at the lemur, I'm gonna gesture to Alba. Do you think you can take a small piece of stone from that and some rope, turn that into a bracelet, where the
Of
rope will
course
hold the
I
stone
can
against their
do that.
wrist, and see if that will successfully anchor them?
Of
Because I'm
course
about to
I can do that. I've
go.
already made one, didn't I?
You actually made one out of pure stone, though.
Yeah.
Because that could make the stone
Well-
go a lot further.
Or we can get more stone.
Where do we get more stone?
We'd have to break into the church.
Okay,
Yeah,
we cannot get more stone. You're
that
SOL.
sounds like a great idea,
We could do
Cadus.
another look around here.
I do actually like the idea of breaking into this church, though.
Good luck with that.
Oh boy.
I mean,
I just
we
don't know where in the church it would be located.
we are
And
unable
if-
to assist.
Whether or not they've already, disposed of it in whatever method they had,
No, they probably would have kept it.
as it was being used to anchor souls here.
This,
Just
they
to the
may be
graveyard
a
around us.
capital. They may be in the church of a capital city. However, I do not suspect these are the religious leaders of this section. They don't carry themselves as such. For instance, the head of that church dared to show themselves to you. Leaders of a religious group would never do such a thing. Especially of that size. No, they'll hold on to it for somebody else to pick up. The question is where.
And wherever it gets delivered to, might
That
also
is
have the
s-
records about the beasts.
That is the second question of where to be delivered to.
As the church is pretty much the one unifying thing in this entire continent. Maybe the main capital city? Or would that be too obvious?
What do you know of these lands, exactly? All of you.
At that point in time, Cadiz is gonna actually just look at everybody else and go, I got nothing, man.
I didn't grow up here. I only came here a couple of months ago.
The majority of my life was spent on the coast with a family who took me in after the experimentation on me went awry.
Alright, so I see nobody took notes. Cool, cool.
Though, would the stone that in that battle, that ancient battle site, would that be possible to do the job we need?
That's basically what you guys are using.
But that was a mighty large stone, was it not?
Yeah,
Yes,
and
and
you picked up
after
most of
breaking
it and brought it back to the church.
Let's go back and get more.
You're at the graveyard, and the biggest chunk you could find was a gravestone you guys had used.
What about the big
That
main
you
stone?
proceeded to turn into a lemur.
Well, all we need to
Can
do
I
is mend and
chisel it down and make it into bracelets?
break it into
Just-
and break it into things.
Sure. Go ahead and roll me a d4.
Let's say, before chiseling them into actual stone bracelets, try the thing Cadiz was suggesting. Because
Oh,
if we only
right,
need
the
something the
bracelet
size
thing.
of the coin on it,
Oh, right.
Hmm.
Just seemed like a sensible thing.
Tool check.
Alright, you can make 4 bracelets. Do you want to try the their coin thing?
Coin, bracelet, whatever, as long as it's smaller and portable.
Alright, so you make a coin. One person picks it up, flickers in for a second, and then you see their hand begin to rapidly age.
Okay. That's
so
you
no, that
drop
will
it,
not
I
work.
guess.
Yeah, so they freak out and drop the thing. So that's a no.
Huh. Well, it certainly did something. I'm just really not sure what to take from that.
It's probably because the stone's already been.
Valoric's actually gonna look at his own hand for a few seconds and just look it over. Let's get do some calculations. Well, depending if that's correct or not. Stick with only small few bracelets. We could set them up somewhere secluded and lead them back through on their own. After which, they can find a new place to hide. I'll go in, or they can come out and contact me, and empty them out nearby.
Sure, whatever his suggestion is.
Unless anyone else has any better ideas.
No.
Honestly, I'm out of my depth.
Right. Regardless, I'm just going to basically have everyone... Basically, everyone's going back in except for him. He'll carry the stone, and the mirror. Unless he can find a different mirror, because he basically just stole a mirror from somebody's house.
Yeah,
And
they couldn't eat the back. That's why he's bringing the small one, but whatever.
Probably purchase another one in town.
Wasn't
The
that like super
farmhouse-
expensive though, and this is why we went with this one?
It was expensive for our experimentation. Now that we have figured out what it does, and we'll need to travel with something of that ilk.
The
It's
value
now
wasn't important.
worth an investment.
I still, if you think about all of this, it's just, it would be the good thing to do to help these people, I guess. But what are we really going to get out of this? Just as a hypothetical question. Nobody's going to pay us. If the church finds out, they're going to probably murder us.
Eve, you realize the church is probably going to murder us when they're done with us anyways, right?
Yeah, but at least they're not murdering us right now.
not in your faces, at least.
I believe we've done enough to assist. We have to consider preservation. I am in agreement with Eve.
I'm just saying we all have things. I know you're invested in this because they know things about your past that you lack, but you're not the only one that has motivations to be on this godforsaken continent.
As
There's things that I want to find out for myself.
As I've said, you do not need to accompany me.
I think we've done enough, and I believe he's capable enough that he'll survive on his own.
Indeed. In fact, if it actually came down to it, I'm pretty sure I could kill most of you here.
I'm sure.
Although I have no desires to do so. Regardless, he will give a slight tip of his hat and just walk off. With the 4 bracelets in his, on a band in his, off of his belt.
And the disc.
Yeah, and the disc in his back, in his, coat. He also, the mirror is also missing as, you don't know what he did with that.
Oh. Well, you know what?
Excuse me,
Lage is going to have to deal with that.
Excuse me, what happened to the mirror you brought?
You're going to ask him that before he walks off fully.
Yes.
Oh. He'll reach into his coat pocket and just hold up a...
Way not to read the room there, buddy. He was going for a dramatic exit.
Oh. He'll pull out a miniaturized version of the mirror. And then he'll simply rub his thumb on the back of it, and it blows up to full size.
Do you mind if we get you a replacement? Because that one has sentimental value for the household that you took it from.
I suppose. And he'll just place it on the ground.
We'll
Much
probably just make something.
appreciated. Actually, I pull out the one we're using for experimentation earlier.
Hold up.
seeing as you can shrink things, can you make this grow to the size you would need it?
He'll look at her for a moment or two. Perhaps. And
If that will suffice.
he's just gonna grab both ends of it and just pull it into a much larger size. Much like as if it was made of putty.
If that will suffice.
Yes,
Also,
this will do much better.
Brief note. When in contact with a mirror, the object has, well, we found 5 different colors based off of whoever touched it last. Each of those opens up a portal to a different location, potentially a different time. I'm not exactly 100% sure how it works. But it seems like once a person touches it, that color is assigned to them permanently.
Let's see. He's actually going to pull it out and give it a look over. And it turns a nice, lilac color.
What the fuck is lilac?
It's a shade of violet.
Right.
It's a light shade of violet.
It's one of the lightest shades of violet, specifically.
I mean, who knows? Maybe. It resets every day. Let me try it. I'm gonna touch it.
Red.
Because I know my color was... Okay, never mind.
I touch it to see what my color is.
Roll me a d6. Because I forgot
you
you weren't here for that.
You haven't touched it yet.
I know red goes to the farmhouse.
No, the outhouse.
No, it goes to the farmhouse.
The
Farmhouse. No, we were... Red was,
the farmhouse. That's where
No,
Penny's
red...
was stuck.
Was that red?
Yes,
Yes.
because red was the one you had 2 of because Alba and Eve both rolled for red. And you guys figured, oh, well, if one of us goes, then, at least we'll have, the other people. At least that was.
I
Okay.
think Saber also got red because 5 was red, I believe, right?
5 was yellow.
Yeah, so he got
Was
yellow.
5 yellow?
And yellow was the town that they found you guys in. We didn't check orange, green, or blue.
Right then. I'll just pull out a small notepad and just
I know.
write stuff down.
Orange was the town.
Yellow was a field, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's the old... Yep, that's not it. Here are the old
What's
notes.
5?
Yes. So, nobody rolled 4.
I believe 5 was also... I don't know.
That was yellow.
Yellow was
That
a
was a
different
field.
Yeah, like I said, nobody rolled 4. I think... Actually, no, wait. I think Elva rolled 4. No, she rolled 1. Right.
Oh, it is yellow, yeah.
Yep, those were my notes on it. Regardless. So, yeah. If nobody has anything else to say, he's going to make his way out of here.
Okay. Well, let's get this mirror back to that house before we get murdered by an angry housewife.
Indeed.
And on our way back, we're going to buy some better bowls.
This sounds like a good idea. The ones with lids?
And like some good silverware.
Oh, jeez. I
think Bianca's having issues.
Yeah, honestly, at this rate, I think we should probably call it then. If we're having this much issues.
Okay, well, we accomplished a lot.
Yeah, you guys made your decision on where you wanted to do.
Yet we didn't want to die.
I mean, it wouldn't have been a TP.
We didn't want to make enemies of the church.
Yeah, I would say you didn't want to make enemies of the church, not die per se. But yeah,
Well,
it's nice.
our hand was a little bit forced, though.
I mean, yeah, Cadus did. His honesty did pull through and create some trouble. Also, wait, I forgot. Vorak would say this. Oh, and I would be careful about your growing numbers, by the way. You'll attract the wrong attention. And then he leaves.
Who does he say that to?
He just says that to the party,
Alright.
assuming whoever needed to hear it will understand what it means. So,
I think he's talking about the big guy.
So yeah, good session overall. Decisions were made, not decisions I thought you guys would make. So I'm gonna have to rewrite a couple of things. But
I
overall,
mean, considering we only played for 2.5 hours.
yeah. Well, last time we went 6 hours, so this is a compromise.
So that's it.
Did we?
Yes, it was 6 fucking hours.
I don't remember it being that long.
That's why we record these things, so I can point and say it was 6 hours.
Well, it also didn't feel like that because, like, for half the session, people just sat around in silence.
Because, yeah, well,
We split the
I guess
party.
until next week. I'll catch you all later.
For the effect of what I was going for, yeah, it kind of needed to be split. But yeah, next week, everyone.